Hello everyone, welcome here to another live stream today, and hello everybody joining on the replay. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from today and where you're watching from. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, Twitter, perhaps it'd be great to know. So I'm continuing on today with the Grieg piano concerto, and today I'm going to be working more on the third movement. So you just heard a part there where I left off last time, the middle of the third movement, this beautiful theme. Which is, as I mentioned before, it's a very important part that will come at the end of this movement. So then after that, I'm going to go straight into this now, so the orchestra come back then. Reprise or recap of that theme heard at the beginning of this movement, and all very similar material, so let's go on then. I'll just do part of that again actually slowly. Here we go. On a side note, we just had this piano tuned as well, so hopefully it's sounding a bit more pleasant to you. So hello Linda, welcome Linda, great to have you here on YouTube, hope you're doing well. So for those of you who have not been following the previous live streams, I'm going to perform this piece twice soon this month. The first time this Sunday on Stage It, and then the following Sunday on YouTube. So I will, after this live, I'll put a link below if you're watching on Facebook and YouTube, so that you'll be able to access those. And if you're on Twitter, you can see on my profile the pinned tweet that will take you to my Stage It for that as well. So really looking forward to playing this with virtual orchestra. Now the piano's tuned, I could actually rehearse a bit with the orchestra, but I won't today. I'm just cleaning up some parts here, so let's go on. The orchestra come in again with the same thing. A bit tricky. This is where we start heading towards the finale of the piece, and here we got this theme we heard as before, leading to C, but now it's back in the home key of A, but this time A major. for a moment. I can see another comment coming up. Hi Chris, hello on Haps, I believe, or Twitter. I think you're on Haps actually. Linda, love the crispness. Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. Let me just move the camera a little bit so you can see the keys better if I do that. There we go. So for those of you who've never joined my virtual performances online, I do them at a different place with a nice Yamaha grand piano as well. This is the piano we have at home to practice on. I'd love to have a grand piano here. That's one of the goals, you know, working towards. So anyway, let's go on then. So let's just do this part again. Like before, while I do all these rapid arpeggios and modulations, the orchestra have this theme. Etc. So let's go again. Check what's going on there. That's it, yeah. So this is where we head in a different direction. Oh, please. I hope that's not for loud playing. Whoa. Thank you, Linda. Yes, so I'm using a new mic that I got when was it, in June, because my other one broke, and it's a much better microphone. And I'm currently streaming from my iPhone connected to the microphone, the same one that I use for Stage It and YouTube performances. So on a side note as well, some of you may not know this yet, but I'm coming to the UK for Christmas with my wife Patricia, because finally the travel restrictions from Brazil were made easier, so we do not have to quarantine in a hotel when we arrive there. We just have to do a test and then do another test to return here, so I'm very pleased about that, and maybe I'll do some live streams from there as well, but I don't think I'm going to have much access to a piano for the 2 weeks there. Just going to be relaxing with family most of the time after a busy schedule this year performing. So I'm playing this concerto, and then next month I'm playing Beethoven's third concerto for the first time. I'm doing that twice as well, as I like to do with new pieces. And then next year I'll let you know about in another stream, but I've got plenty of plans, music by Liszt, Prokofiev, Khachaturian concertos, you know, mostly concertos. Okay, so this part, let's do this again. So while the piano is playing this new part, it's like this is like a transition part before we head towards the finale. The orchestra have this. And then the piano is playing this on top. Come back A minor, the original key of the whole piece. Goes on, and then we have a mini cadenza in piano in octaves. Oh, let's do that again. So this is sort of it's like a precursor, or no, this was after Tchaikovsky, I believe. It's sort of like Tchaikovsky, you know, but different as well. So it starts up here instead of in the bass. And then this part. That's a very satisfying part to play. That was slowed down, but when I perform it then it'll be more rapid, you know, it's probably like... But just for practice sake now, let's slow down. Here is the coda to the piece, and for those who don't know, the coda is simply like the final part of the music. And we get a variation of this theme. Now it changes to 3 time instead of 2, and it's in the major, so we get this. Oh, sorry, do that again. I'm going to do that part again just slowly, but you can hear this part. Now it's into a very joyful waltz, more or less, or Russian, not Russian, Norwegian folk dance. Tricky parts. Most of the ends of concertos have these difficult parts, but I love the harmonies we get here in the orchestra. So let's go on then. So here there's a very interesting thing as well, where the feeling of the timing changes. It suddenly feels like it's a march for a few moments. So we're in 3, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And then here it's like 1, classic and anacrusis, not anacrusis, hemiola, where the feeling of the time changes. It's still the same speed, the same tempo. It might sound or feel like it's sped up or slowed down, but the feeling of the rhythm is different. So if you're just coming in as well, hello, welcome everybody. I'm preparing for 2 performances of this concerto with virtual backing orchestra live on a Yamaha grand piano. First performance this Sunday on Stage It, and then the next one on the 21st of November on YouTube as part of my YouTube concerto series. I believe it's the 6th one, because I've done a series starting this year, and you're all invited. So if you're watching the replay, you'll see a link below if you're on YouTube or Facebook watching live. So let's go on then to right to the end now. So let me just go from here again. Oh. That's it. What I love about this part is it really encourages you to bounce the hands around all of the chords and octaves as well. Let's just clean that up a bit. So here. So good for the left hand. So a lot of throwing the hands around as well. So now the orchestra are playing the theme we heard earlier. This one we heard in the middle of the movement. Now it's all come together in unison. So let me go on. The orchestra's playing that while I'm doing this. What's interesting here is while the orchestra are playing the theme for the final time and closing the whole piece, Annette McCann, thank you very much. Welcome as well. Just noticed your comment there. The piano then, it has this long, rapid scale to the top A's here. And it's actually a D major scale, starting on the second note E. But in A major, it's this, without the leading notes. But it's using the same notes you would get in a D major scale, and that's just an easier way to remember it. But it's a more of a mode than a scale in the context of this piece of A major. So, as I mentioned before, this piece it's not the most it's not a very difficult piece. It's tricky, but it's not one of the most demanding technically. Hello, Sophie. Merci, merci. Um, but emotionally, it's definitely one of the most difficult and draining works. And this ending as well is very satisfying to play. I've done a few rehearsals already with the backing orchestra. So that is it, everybody. I've gone through the whole piece pretty much. So if you want to watch the replays, go back through my YouTube and Facebook lives that I've done over the last week or two, and you'll be able to hear most of the concerto. I went through the first movement, the second, and then I did this third one in the last two. So thanks, yes, thank you. So please share this video out as well, everybody. And if you would like to join the live performances on Stage It or YouTube, let me know in the comments. And I'll also put a link in the description. And once again, if you're watching on the replays, you will see the links already there. I'm going to put them in a moment now when I close this. And if you're watching on HAPS as well, thank you for any support and subscriptions there. It's always appreciated. And if you're on Twitter, please retweet this as well. So that is it, everybody. I will be live again this week, probably on Thursday, where I'm going to actually do a quick overview of the whole work, just to explain it for those of you interested and would like to listen but understand it more if you've never heard it, or even if you know the piece and you just like a bit more clarity on how it's structured. So that's it, everybody. Thank you for listening today. Take care and see you in the next live very soon.